I'm back today with a sealing experiment. I know there's 20 million out there, so I figured I'd just show you the after effect instead of going through the whole thing of showing you how to prep the canvas. Basically, I use a toothbrush and get all the dust, dirt, crumbs, whatever. I roll it to make sure that all the drills are pressed down. And in my experiment, I actually used the Mod Podge Super Gloss, which probably about 85-90% of mine have been sealed with this. Then I started with the Mod Podge Gloss. Whoops, actually, this one's backwards. This is the orange bottle. This is the blue bottle with the Mod Podge Super Gloss. The spray acrylic, this is actually what I started out with in the very beginning of my diamond painting adventures. I used clear Elmer's glue, Deco Art Triple Thick, and actually this is the first time I'm using this. So I've seen it recommended many times in different groups that I've been in. So I figured, you know what, I'll give it a try. And then also the one coat polyurethane min wax. I've seen a few times mentioned. I've seen some good and bad reviews, so I figured I'd also give that a try in this experiment. So as you can tell, I've already sectioned it off with tape. I only had medical tape, couldn't find my masking tape or anything. I sealed this on May 2nd, and I just set it somewhere to let it dry. It's been, what, 5 days? Yeah, 5 days. So I figured, you know, give it a couple days instead of the roughly 24 hours. Okay, I chose this one because it has a lot of dark colors in it, with the dark greens, the blacks, and the dark blues. Because with this one, I have noticed in a lot of my dark canvases that do have the blacks and the dark greens, blues, purples, and all that stuff, if you put it on too thick in certain areas, it will leave a white filmy coat. And then when I switched to this one, I noticed that as well. Of course, that is from heavy-handed, but I use a rubber scraper as well after I'm done to get all the excess off, but sometimes you just don't get it all off. With this, I've noticed it doesn't, you can't really tell that well if you missed any spots because it is a spray, and of course you got to do it where it's ventilated, whether it's outside or in a room with a bunch of windows open. Clear Elmer's glue, I started using a lot of it on a lot of my canvases, and I thought this was great. It left it shimmer and didn't take away the shine. But me personally, I've had a lot of bad canvases that after a little while between, because the ones that I did do, I did not put behind glass. I just hung them up on the wall as it is. And I noticed through the months of the seasons changing, and in the wintertime, from going cold with the heat and then the heat coming on and so forth and so on, the glue started lifting off the canvases, which in turn also took the drills away. I did a video on this. Matter of fact, it was my very first video. It's called Don't Use Elmer's Glue for a Sealer on Diamond Paintings. So, and like I said, this would be my first time with this one and first time with this one. This part right here is untouched. It's the original canvas and the colors and the shine. So we will see. The first one I'll do is the spray acrylic. I'll quick take the tape off, because I'll actually do this in the order that I did when I sealed them. like I said, this is a test canvas. It's going to be thrown away anyway. Some of the drills were popped and wouldn't stay, so it wasn't worth it. So, okay, it does leave the shine. You don't see the white milkiness, but I have noticed that there is spots that I did miss with the spray. So obviously, if that happens, you would have to wait till it dries to find those spots and redo it. Now, this was only one coat. Most of the time, people say they do about 2 coats. So, and it doesn't leave it stiff. So you could still, you know, move it around. So that one's not too bad if you got the ventilation. Okay, in the Mod Podge Super Gloss, let's take the tape off of this one. And then that way I can actually take this one off so you can compare it with the part that has not been touched. Now see, as you can see with the spray, it looks exactly the same. You don't have the line of the sealer, which of course you wouldn't have that in the middle of your painting anyway, because you wouldn't have tape in the middle of your painting. But as you can see, it looks exactly like that. So this would be good if you have the ventilation, you got the time to wait for it to dry and go back over it to make sure you seal all of it and that you didn't miss a few spots. Okay, this one is the section right here. Now, if you can see, it is actually kind of milky and not so clear, but it did seal it pretty good. But as you can see in the dark green, you could see the white where it sealed, but it didn't seal all the way clear. And this is the reason why I did use a dark canvas, so you could tell the difference between the light colors of the light blues and then the dark colors. Okay, and this one is, you know, the most well-known one, the most well talked about one. Okay, this one leaves it a little bit thicker. All these also are only 1 coat as well, but you can also see in the dark blue here and the black, it does leave the white filmy in between. Now these of course are rounds. The squares you wouldn't see the gaps as much because there is usually no gaps in your squares. They're tighter together so it doesn't show the background. And clear across, you could still see this one's not as filmy as this one is, or leaves the white film between them, because this one here you could see the blues look exactly the same from the original untouched part of the canvas to this area. Okay, over to let me just move them off the canvas so I can take the tape off all at one shot. Okay, as far as the Elmer's glue, it does leave it nice and shiny, bright, vibrant, almost the same color as the original. But like I said, my main concern is the long term. With the heat and the cold, obviously it's always going to depend on where you live and how the humidity and heat and all that. So you do see a lot of the white in the darker colors. Okay, same with, and this one shocks me. Like I said, this is my first time using, but you could see in the black and the blue, it's actually cracking. Now, I could have been a little bit of heavy-handed in this area, but like I said, I do scrape it off after I was done. And as you can see, you go from like a clear bluish to, you can see the white film. Now down to the polyurethane. Again, first time I'm using it. Never used it before, seen it mentioned in the groups, and I gave it a try. Bend it, straighten it back out. I don't see any of the white film on it. A little bit here, but that probably from the tape that ran underneath of it, because right here is the tape section. So now here's the original section to all the way over to the polyurethane. Now me personally, I like how this one left, especially on the dark colors. So I think I would go with this one. Now this one is okay. I found if you got a lot of the white, the light pinks, the peaches, stuff like that, I think you'll be okay with this one or this one. And like I said, if you got the time to do a couple coats of this outside or by an open window, this one's not as bad either. The one I definitely would not recommend is the clear Elmer's glue. It looks fantastic. Now, maybe if you do put it in a frame right away, it may be okay and it won't peel. But that was just the reaction that I had with my canvases. I hope this helped everybody and possibly answered some questions of sealing or not to seal. Me personally, when I get my canvases done, if I already have a frame available, it goes right into the frame. I don't seal it. I have my very first two in a frame from almost 2 years ago, not touched with sealer, and I've actually pulled them out of the frame and there is no diamonds missing. None of them came off. So if you're going to put it into a frame right away, I wouldn't even bother to seal it. That way you don't even take the chance on having the film cover up the sparkles and you lose that shine that you work so hard for. The only time I do seal mine is if I don't have a frame right away and I have to put it in my bin until I can find one that will fit or that I like that will match. Then I will seal them. So again, hopefully this answered some questions. If you still have any questions, you can send me questions. Like, share, subscribe. And till the next time, have a great day and happy drilling, everybody. Bye.